Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 2 of Roma Invictus, the Rise of Rome, and I am just picking up just after the first turn where I left you off. Now, some things about the first episode. I did realize that I was playing on normal, which explains why game seemed a little easy, even though I have played this game on Legendary, as have many other Total War aficionados, and it is a lot easier than previous Total War games to date, the difficulty settings. I guess because of some of the AI bugs and some of the things that have been going on, it's been pretty easy to get to pretty much just steamroll over people, and the AI has been making some pretty lame decisions. So hopefully, with this new patch, some of the AI issues have been fixed. We did see some, even on normal, we saw some a little bit better AI in the couple battles that we had in the last uh, session. But you can change the options. So I turned it into, I put it back up to hard, and I turned off some of the advice there, and I turned off CPU moves because it'll make the turns go faster. Now, I'm going to try really hard not to have you guys have to sit here while a turn ends, because there's over like 100 and something factions in this game, even though only so many are playable. But there are over 100 factions in this game, and as you start meeting them all, the turn time starts to really chug along. So I've decided that the majority of our sessions are going to start after I've already ended my turn. So right now we're on the second turn, and each turn in Rome 2 starts is a year in length. So we started the game at 271 or 272 BC, and it's now 271 BC. So as you can see, we got our new money and everything. So recap of what happened over the last turn is we took over Velathri with our legion here. We fought a small battle, a small skirmish at the border before moving in, where I lost one of my generals, embarrassingly. But I have a new general, and he's a lot better. Now, while the turn was ending, they decided to offer me a peace treaty, but that wasn't very historical, so I told them to shove it, and I'm going to finish my conquest of the Etruscans. While that's going on up here, I'm going to go in a little bit in depth into some of the empire management here. As you can see, we have some more money, and a lot of our provinces are ready to build some new things. And I also, over the course of the turn, I recruited a new Hastati unit, and automatically the losses you take in battle get replenished. You can still merge troops with the Control M, which will automatically merge troops. So you don't have to wait for your units to replenish. They will, you can merge them into, and they can consolidate, so that you don't have to wait for so long. You can just recruit new troops to make up the losses. Here's my spy here. But we're going to start with Rome. And here in Rome, as you can see, we have our muster, or a field of Mars. Now, this is our basic recruitment building. So, what's really cool is, in past Total War games, you had to build these in every single city in order to build troops. But now that you are recruiting from the general, just as long as one province has one of these Field of Mars or recruitment buildings, you can recruit troops in the entire province. As you can see in our province down here, they don't have any recruitment buildings. So my legion here, the first legion, I can only recruit basic peasants to help me fight. So as you can see, levies. But and in regions that aren't Italian-based, like ones that have buildings that you can't use or you have to spread your culture, until you build those recruitment buildings, you will not be able to recruit any troops at all in those provinces. As you can see, I have my new Hastati unit, and my hey, stop that. And my household has expanded. So my admiral got a new addition to his crew. This is my fleet, but I'm not going to worry about fleets yet because I'm not ready to go into these islands just yet. So I'm just going to let him stand there and guard that, and we're going to concentrate on our Arminium up there. So first of all, let's talk about the new city screen. So each province, you can click on one city and you'll see all the cities in that province. So here's the Province of Italia, and as you can see, Arminium belongs to the Etruscans still, so we don't have any control of them. And what we can do is we can go into each individual city and we can expand or upgrade the buildings that are there. So what's really cool is if you expand a building, you'll see or if you expand the city, you can see the city expand before your eyes. Everything is represented in the campaign map, which is a really neat feature. So I'm going to expand it and watch this. Bam! Magically, I have a whole new city here that I can do something with. So I'm going to build... We already have a temple. And I do want to get some more wealth. So I guess Rome would be a good place to have wealth. But it's also a good place to have a forum. So we're going to build a forum because that's pretty historic. Forum. A Roman forum. And then over in Villarathi, we don't have that much money, so I'm not going to expand anymore. So we're going to build a forum there in Rome. And then we're going to look over to the south here. And here in the south, we don't have any recruitment abilities, so I'm going to, at the beginning of the game, we might sell it later. But for now, I'm going to build... And I can't afford it? Oh no. Oh, there it is. I thought I could afford it. Alright. Field of Mars, which is going to be our recruitment. And that will allow us to boost up the First Legion, who will be going into Syracuse and bringing our foothold into Sicily. But right now, I'm not going to worry too much about this guy. I'm going to let him sit there. And I'm going to send my spy up into Arminium here.
Treading softly.
Let's see what's going on. They don't have much going on there. But back to the cities. So I can expand. I can raise new forces in cities. So if I click raise forces, I'm going to get my selection of generals, and I have a choice of raising an army, which is just like the Legio 2 up here. So I can raise an army, or I can raise a fleet, which is much like our Mecenesis here, or I can reinstate a legacy. Now I mentioned in the first session that when you lost a legion, you could bring it back. And that's true. You can reinstate the Legion with all of its traditions. However, it's not going to bring back all the troops that were in that Legion that you lost. It's going to start off with just a general, and you're going to have to recruit each troop that you want in there again. So you're going to get brand new, fresh new troops, just as if you're about to raise a brand new army, but it will still have the traditions that you gained with the Legion. So if you want to have 28 Roman legions, like in his history there was 28 Roman legions, you can in fact maintain 28 Roman legions for the entire game. You don't have to keep building brand new legions and stuff like that. So you can keep the same legions that you've had since the beginning of the game. Really cool. Of course, as of right now, I'm a very small empire. This is our politics screen. I'm a very small empire, and I can only maintain a maximum of 3 armies, 2 fleets, and then 1 of each special unit. And we'll get into special units later. We already used our spy. And as we conquer territory and get larger, we will gain more significance in the world, and that'll allow us to maintain more stuff. I really like that feature. I really like how you have to really earn prestige and power in order to really justify having all these troops. So you really have to work for it. I like being able to work for it like that. That's pretty cool. And then here's our politics. We have all our different houses, and each house has a different influence on the Senate. But unfortunately, politics hasn't really been fleshed out yet, so I can't really tell you too much about this, because, you know, I've been marrying and assassinating and spreading rumors as the Spartans, and it really hasn't done much to the game, like to how the game is played. So I really don't know where they're going with this politics. So as I play more and as I get more patch notes, they'll probably expand on this, and we'll see what to do with them. Right now, I'm not even going to pay attention to it. I do know that there's going to be a civil war at some point in time, where I'm going to get powerful enough to be able to go from a republic to an empire, or to stay as a republic. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyway, so that's pretty much the new city management and faction management screens. And so that's pretty cool. And then we also have objectives, and these are like one of the objectives that I got, hold control 2 provinces, and each objective has bonus objectives. So subjugate this faction by making them your client state or capturing their last remaining settlement. So if I beat them, I get a reward. They're all pretty historical. See the Punic Wars, be at war with the following faction, Carthage. See, we're going to start the Punic Wars. And then once I finish all of Italy, that'll be another one. And finally, once I do that, I can master the entire objective and I'll get a new one. But they're all pretty historical, and it lets you play the game in a very historical fashion. So, and then of course we have our overall victory, which is control 140 settlements. So that's like pretty much create the Roman Empire. Or I can do an economic victory or a cultural victory, but we're focusing on the military one. So let's get started. We're going to take the 2nd Legion, and it's been freshly retrooped. We're missing a few guys, but it's okay. They're still decent, and there should be no problem taking over Arminium up here. So,
none will escape.
And apparently it's going to take a whole year to get from there to there. So we got that. We have developed these cities. Let's go ahead and end a turn because it's not going to take too long in the beginning of the game. Should be pretty much a zip. But you can see all the different factions in the game. Egypt, Sparta, Epirus. Got a lot of stuff here. A lot of barbarians. Yep. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of people.
A new technology.
Alright, so
the Senate will be pleased with your work to further Rome's intellectual great.
Economy done. Our hidden agent was exposed, but it's really not going to matter. We got land management, which will help our economy. And we got some new traits. And not all traits are good, by the way, so good to pay attention to those. And our general has a 5% cavalry morale upon recruitment, which is funny because we don't actually have any cavalry. Except for, so we don't have any cavalry just yet. Oh, I didn't know he was half dead. Oh well. Let's go ahead and go to our technology real quick. We're going to go into, we have, in the civic tree, we have economy, philosophy, and construction. Now I'm going to check construction, see what we got here. We got +1 growth in all provinces, +5 provincial capital, and minor settlement main chain construction costs. So that's actually a really good one to start off with. So we're going to do that. We're going to get tax labor. And we're going to continue moving our troops into Arminium.
We take this settlement for Rome.
Now they have a port, so their port has a fleet garrison that protects their port. But the cool thing about the new Rome is that you can have land and naval battles. So these ships can float on into the shore, land, and drop off troops that can supplement this force. So they don't actually have to stay out in the ocean. They can actually join in the battle. And if they had any siege ships, like with ballistias or onagers or catapults, they could launch those into the city to hurt me or to take a city or whatever they want to do. But we pretty much have the same basic makeup as the last fight. And they got a couple mobs, some slingers, and then the 3 spearmen. But now I have my 3 histati, so I'm a little bit in a better position than I was the last time, as you can see by the battle deployment. But let's go in there and take a look. Now, the battle screen has been a lot more, the battle user interface has been a lot more streamlined for ease of use. So there are a lot of things that Shogun and Empire and other Total War games had that seem to have been stripped away from the game, but really they were just moved more towards keyboard macros, and they took those buttons off of the user interface to kind of streamline the game so you can focus more on what's going on. So the ability to move your troops in a formation all at once, and some of the other like about face and other abilities like increasing your rank size and stuff like that, they still exist in the game, but they are now keyboard shortcuts that you have to learn rather than buttons on the screen that clutter up the screen. So nothing, I mean, they say that features were stripped, but nothing pertaining to the battle really has been stripped away, more than just removed from the user interface so it doesn't clutter up the screen. But so, and you can also reduce it even more to really see everything that's going on. You can change, you can add user, and it's all pretty cool that you can customize your UI so you don't have to look at everything. Also, there were some complaints that fire at will and guard mode were taken away. Now I don't see guard mode, but I definitely see a fire at will button on here. Now that might have been patched in because again I picked up this game a couple weeks after release, but I do see a fire at will button on these guys. But anyways, they're already been placed in a standard Roman formation pretty much, but I like to always split up my troops to give me a advantage. And I like to do a little pincer move on these open city battles. See if I can find a good spot to put them. There's our flag there. Actually, this is probably a pretty good spot to put my guys? So I'm gonna put them right there. Let's see. We can get that general speech.
We should thank the gods, men, for the opportunity that lies before us. Glory as we go over the walls, plunder aplenty beyond, and wine and a worn woman or two. So, are we ready?
That wasn't that great. Anyways, you can see the graphics have been improved a little bit. It's still nowhere near as great as the screenshots they were showing us, but you can definitely tell there's more detail in their faces. They don't have the nasty scrunch faces that they had at the beginning of the game. I mean, that guy just looks like an Italian. But yeah, and everything looks pretty good. These are your velites, or your levies here. But let's actually start the war. So we're gonna do our standard, typical Roman formation.
Velites!
Get them all lined up right here. I'll line them up right there.
Six Domine!
And we'll get our Hastati.
Sons of Mars!
And we will line them up right behind them. Bam.
At speed! On me!
And then we'll go over here. And as you can see, I can't see the enemy. So it's all line of sight based. So I have no idea where they are in the city. I have no idea where the ships are. They could already be docking over there, many different areas. Now you can't see my mouse pointer, I'm sorry about that. But as we get closer to the city, and as my troops start to look in the city, you should be able to see some banners and see some soldiers. But let's continue mobilizing here. We can use a radar if we want to, but also there's this really cool tactical view. I haven't really used it much in the game, but it allows you to see everything that's going on, and you can issue orders. So that's kind of cool. Now you're starting to see some enemies. But I really have only used it once in a siege battle when I had a lot of troops. And I needed to know where they were all going to be. But you can zoom in there and really, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can't really do any specific orders there. You can just kind of move stuff around. But it's pretty cool, gives you a whole overview of the battle, and I think that's a really nice feature that they added, because when you are dealing with like reinforcements, because I don't think you can have AI controlled reinforcements anymore, but when you're dealing with reinforcements and people coming from all other different sides of the map, it's just really cool that you can look at everything this way and see where everyone's going and issue orders. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. So anyways, we're going to give these guys some more specific marching orders. We want them right here.
For Rome! Ready and waiting! Tribunus!
And my legatus. Alright, and I think our guys have mobilized. Great. We got them all in formation. And now, you use the keyboard arrow keys to move them as one unit. So as you can see, I can move them sideways, and then I can move them forwards.
Quick march!
And they'll all, of course, are going to run, but we can do that. And we can look at them. For some reason, it really wants me to look at the levies. I really don't want to look at levies, but let's see if it, okay, there we go. Okay, we have our Hastati, or Principis. Principis means first, so if you hear, I know the troops are called Hastati, but when you click on them, they'll say Principis, but that usually means they're the first line. So they're the first line of attack, so that's why they're called Principis. And also known as principal, so we are moving in here, and it looks like we had some eyes on their troops, but I guess they're falling back, so I guess we'll just have to speed it up a little bit and get them to work. It's funny that like once the battle like goes, like the battle pace is really fast in this game as opposed to other games. So most of the time spent is just mobilizing your troops, really. After that, it's really just as soon as they like meet, they don't really, it doesn't last very long. Actually, that's not really that great of a, that is not that great of a formation. It didn't look good at all. So we're going to collect that.
Double time.
And stop that. And we want to go Go. They're coming in. Looks like they might be interested. See, they've already docked their ships, so all of their forces are now on the land and ready to go. There were some bugs with the ships, and it really irritated me in land and sea battles that, one, these troops can't move or be interacted with until they're all off the boat. And there's always one guy who's too retarded to get off the ship. Like, he has no idea how to get off. So that leads the entire army to be completely useless. It can't move, you can't attack it, you can't do anything with it. And that's so it kind of ruins the whole experience. You have to wait for the battle clock to run out, and no one wants to just sit there for 60 minutes while a unit just stands there with a thumb up its butt. But so my Romans are coming in. Speed it up again so I can get in there. And I'm not a big proponent of quick time marching because it really tires out your troops, and in this game tired troops are weak troops. And especially with the morale problems in this game, there are still issues with shock. So once your morale dips a little bit, they start to waver and they start to break pretty quickly. So being tired really reduces troop morale and makes it so that your troops waver and break a lot quicker. And even if you knew you had the superior force, they could really run circles around you. So go ahead and move in there.
Hail!
And then I'm going to turn on the fire.
Fire! Orders! Burn the
Setting people on fire.
Burn the wretches!
Oh, he's already on fire.
Romans,
And these guys can't go to fire. Okay.
Astarte!
Now it's really cool. I was talking earlier about how the troops are aware of what's going on in the battlefield and aware of each other. And even if the AI isn't really as up to par as as Creative Assembly wants to say that they are, it's really cool how in the previous Total War games they'll just march into a battle. They don't care. They're just marching. But now, as you saw in the last battle, when they start slinging, or when troops come near them, they react. You know, they won't just march as arrows are pelting them or anything like that. They'll actually raise their shields. They'll try to get around like people that are coming after them and stuff like that. So it actually works pretty darn well to come forward. There we go. No running. So now we got these guys shooting arrows into their slingers. Slingers can't really stand up to velites or javelin men that well. They have a much better range, but they don't have the oomph behind their rocks. I mean, they are literally just throwing rocks. So they just don't really have what it takes to kill my guys. But, because they only do like 8 damage, their little rocks, where mine do like 18 to 20 damage. So, definitely some stat work going on in the background, but these guys are getting eaten alive. Look at these spears just sticking. Uh-oh. Looks like our general, their general decided to join the fight. Maybe a little... Oh, well, I didn't really want to look at him, but okay. Getting in there. I like that they're still doing that whole... I'm coming in, I'm coming in, I'm coming in. Oh, I'm running away, I'm running away, I'm running away. I'm coming in, I'm coming in, I'm coming in. Oh, I'm running away, I'm running away. Where are these guys going? Alright, so they pretty much left everything undefended here. That's a mob, so we can use our... What do we got? No, we got some spearmen. So I'm going to take my velites, and I'm going to take out the spearmen. Or, I'm sorry, these levies. And that'll let my general come in behind and deal some stuff. I don't know what these guys are doing. I think they're fighting, and I don't want them to fight. Let's pull them out. And they do run out pretty darn quickly, which I like. They don't get stuck in combat like they used to.
Men are wavering.
See, they don't... Get out of there. Get out of there. You, get in there. Come in inside. Take them out. There we go. Throw your spears in there. Alright, you guys. Spears in there. We're doing pretty darn good, I think. Let's see if we can get some battle views in there. Fighting.
turning in our favor.
My general can move in while my other guy's running in. There.
Proud Romans all.
Not kill our general.
Astarte, engage!
See, they're turning around. Hate that. Always turning
Our
around.
general is under attack.
Get in there. Go away, general. I'm gonna do a little hammer and sickle here. There we go, get in there. Cut them down. These mobs really don't stand a chance against cavalry at all. So as you can see, they've been broken. They are totally shattered. I just use my general to kind of mop them up. Now, at first, it used to be really hard to get them to do that in the beginning before it got patched. But now they're actually pretty good at running people down. In a normal battle, I would run them down. I'd continue and run them down. But in a siege battle or a city battle, if the enemy loses, they're automatically completely destroyed. So I don't have to worry about them running around the map and taking anything out. But got a victory there. And we did pretty good. 12 minutes, which is the longest battle duration I've ever had, but I'm sure most of that was from preparation and mobilization. The actual fight didn't last that long. Quintus Bassus, Sir General.
Good work.
Damn, right in the face.
The settlement is now under your control.
Alright, again I have my options. We're going to bring this settlement under our control.
Is that all?
And we just got our first military tradition, so now I can show you what I'm talking about with traditions. And we are growing in power and prestige. So now we can field 6 legions, 4 fleets, and 2 of each special character. And I can now issue edicts. And now that I have the entire province under my control, I can actually show you the edict system. So here we go. Got this guy here,
Commander.
totally in control of the city, and looks like they were expanding already. I got some money, so let's see what we can build here. We're definitely, food is very important. Your empire will fall apart without food. So I'm going to build a villa, and right now I only have 6 food. That's our food surplus. I only have 6 food. So I'm going to build a villa to increase food, and we get wealth from the farming. But when I was playing the Spartans, I grew so fast that I literally ran out of food, and that will destroy your empire really quick because your legions will suffer from attrition, and people will start dying left and right and deserting, and you can lose. And that's like the biggest challenge to a large empire is feeding them, and which I think is really, really cool in this game because food was never really a factor in the previous Rome, and in Shogun, you never really ran out of food unless you made really stupid decisions. Like it really showed you, like the only thing that really affected food was growing your castle. But here, everything affects your food. So, and it's really important. Way more important than in Shogun 2. So that's really cool. And so now I'm going to show you the edict system. We have some problems with public order. So while we're getting a new temple here, which will increase our public order per turn, we're going to change an edict. And each edict you can only have 1 edict in a province per at a time, and we're going to issue the bread and games, which is going to give them food, which is what we need, as well as public order throughout the province. And these are edicts that are throughout the entire province. We have tax harvesting. If we're running out of money, we can tax the crap out of these people and give them food. We can increase our we can do a stimulus package, as a stimulus package here, and we'll get money. And then we can do Romanization, which increases culture. This is Romanization is a really good one to use if you take a province that isn't Italian, like a barbarian province, and you can start with that, and that one really helps with the public order up there because most of the public order problems are culture problems. So we're gonna go to bread games, and that is our we now have control of the mainland of Italy. Mostly. We still have a couple northern regions up there before we take up all of Italy, but Italia and the boot part are all under Roman control, and that really consolidates our power and allows us to do more things. now we are secure here, so I can start focusing on the south and Legion 1. As soon as in our next turn, we're going to start building some troops. So let's do it. Oh, did I forget the, I think I forgot the, tradition that I wanted to show
We
you.
hunger for battle.
Alright, so here's our new tradition for the Legion. And right now we have engineering experts, accomplished skirmishers, and formidable fighters. Now, we do have a lot of skirmishers in our army, so I'm going to give them accomplished skirmishers because our skirmishers are doing a pretty good job. Now, from now on, this Legion has plus 3% weapon damage for all missile troops. So even if this Legion is completely destroyed, as soon as we reinstate it, this tradition is persistent throughout the entire game. So that's pretty cool. Now we can get our spy down here to assist with Syracuse.
As you command.
And yeah, we should be able to run faster. Be able to end our turn now. So as the turns get longer, I'm gonna start because once the turns start getting longer, we're getting to a point of the game where I can do a lot more per turn anyway. So I'm probably gonna just end our sessions every turn. I mean, that's a year. We can do a lot in a year. So but from now, since it's so early in the game and the turns don't take as long, I can end a couple turns and we can see more of the game.
Rome's
within one
glory
session.
is well served by your work in creating this building.
That sounds like... Alright, so let's see. We got the edict issued. It says, word has been received. The governor of this province will carry out your edict until you command otherwise. So right now, bread and games are going on in Italia. And already we can feel the effects of that. As you can see, they're at 13 public order. So every turn they're getting 13 public order. And they're at 13 public order. So we can really... When they were at -9 last turn. So you can really see the effects of that. And we built a forum in Rome, a shipwright in Neapolis and a shrine of Minerva. It's going to help our research. This is going to help us build our fleets to deal with those islands and to deal with Carthage eventually. And we have recruitment capabilities in Magna Graecia, and we have our food. As you can see, our food went from 6 to 13, which is very good. So let us recruit some troops here. Now I'm going to recruit 2 Hastati troops and 2 Velites troops, and that should be enough to get into Syracuse. And see they're unhappy now. So on the next session of this game, part 3, we will focus on Sicily, and we will start our first engagement with Carthage. I hope you enjoyed my playthrough of Total Rome 2. And please leave comments or subscribe if you want to see the rest of my story here as I spread Roman influence all throughout Europe into Britannia and all the way down into Africa, the Middle East, and all the way towards India. That's right, I'm going to do all this is going to be red with Rome. But oh look, Sparta's already taken over Larissa. They start out at war with Epirus, so it seems we might not even have our war with Pyrrhus. We might have to deal with Leonidas and all of his ilk down there, which is going to make for a really good game. Not entirely accurate, but they were a power that Rome had to overcome, and we will do that eventually when we're done with Carthage and the other ones. But again, leave me some feedback if you want any other features explained, or if you want me to go in depth in anything. Let me know and I will do that. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.